Horizon, an American saga, chronicles the 15-year span of pre- and post-Civil War expansion and settlement of the American West. Alright, color me shocked, because I went into this movie with some very, 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 very low expectations. Firstly, because the trailers really did nothing for me, and what is the trailer supposed to do? It's supposed to sell you on the movie, and it didn't really sell me on the movie. You know, this kind of leads into the second reason, is that I don't watch a lot of westerns. You know, I'm not a big western fan, and I will say that's kind of odd because my dad really likes westerns. He kind of grew up with them, but I never did. I didn't grow up with westerns. I grew up with the new stuff, the new like animated Pixar stuff, the new Marvel stuff, Star Wars, the new Star Wars movies and all that. Because when I was born, westerns weren't really being made anymore. It wasn't like we were getting westerns every year like we were like 30 to 50 years ago. The newest westerns that we were getting when I was born was like Cowboys vs. Aliens. That's like the biggest western I kind of remember from my younger age. So we weren't really getting a lot. And if I wasn't going to review this, or I wasn't trying to watch more movies in my life now, I probably wouldn't have seen this in theaters or wouldn't have watched this at all. But as I said, I'm shocked to say I enjoyed it as much as I did. Like, I'm not sure if I think it's great or just on that good skill yet. I might have to really see it again to see how, and see it again and see, how it really does on the second viewing, and, see how the sequels build off of it. But I did really enjoy my time with it, and that did really shock me. And so this is getting 4 chapters, supposedly. I will say supposedly, because maybe if these first 2 movies don't do well, maybe there is going to be a change in how that's released. But I think Kevin Costner did say they're shooting the 3rd chapter at the moment, and they're going to get to the 4th chapter. But I don't know if we're going to be even getting the 4th chapter. If these 2 don't do well, it's really up in the air at this moment. But the 2nd chapter is already, of course, filmed, and it's going to be released in August, which to me isn't a good idea, and it should move for a couple of reasons. We're going to get to those reasons right now. It's because chapter 1, it's not going to make a lot. I don't think, the box office opening weekend for this is going to be a lot. Maybe the legs will be good, but to cover the budget of this, I don't feel like it's going to make any profit. And I feel like you have to let people discover chapter 1 on streaming before they release chapter 2, and chapter 2 is coming out way too soon. It's like only a 2 month, like a month and a half or 2 month wait between chapter 1 and chapter 2. Not a lot of people are going to be able to see the first chapter on streaming because it's not really going to hit stream. It's just going to hit like digital and still kind of be playing in some theaters before chapter 2. And I feel like they need some people to discover chapter 1 so you can get more people out to see chapter 2. So I feel like that little wait between chapter 2 isn't really the best idea for them. I think there should be at least a 6 month wait for chapter 2. But I will say I'm happy we're also getting chapter 2 in a little less than 2 months, because at the end of chapter 1 they played like this little reel or trailer for chapter 2, and it really has me excited because it looks a lot better than the first chapter. And since we already have all the introduction out of the way, we can just get right into the action, right into the story in the second chapter. But there's a lot to do with the second chapter. I don't think they're going to move it at all, because I think tickets are already on sale, but I just think the whole thing was handled pretty poorly. Let's talk about Kevin Costner. This is kind of his baby. He is the director of all 4 of these movies in this, I guess you'd call it, little franchise. This has been, his idea. It's been in the works since like the 80s. No studio has really wanted to make it since it's, would cost a lot of money. So he went on, I'll go ahead and put his own money into it. I think he put like a lot of money into it. I'm not really sure there's a full number out there. And then he even has his own son in the movie, which some people are upset that he put his son in this movie. And I'm like, he literally put his own money in the movie. Why can't his son be in the movie? I feel like that's really dumb. Like, if I made a movie with my money, sure, I'd let, anyone I know be in it. I feel like that's, yeah, it just comes at that price. Like, you literally put so much money into the movie, you can choose who you want to be in that movie at some point. So I don't know why people are upset about that. But yeah, this is basically his baby, all 4 of these. And he's probably not going to be happy with how they're going to do financially, but I mean, he'll still be happy with how they turned out, from a story perspective. And I honestly did like his direction and his performance. But I swear, I thought he was going to be the main star of these movies, but he only showed up like an hour into this, and his character really doesn't do much. Like, he's not really a big, important part of this story, and he's kind of in one of the more or less interesting parts of the story, I will say, because there's a lot of different stuff happening, and he's one of my least favorite parts of the story, even though I still did like his performance. Let's talk about some other cast standouts. Sam Worthington was a big standout for me. I think he's my favorite part about this. He is, of course, known for Avatar, being Jake Sully and all that. and he's known for some other small movies. He's not really in a lot of major movies except for Avatar, but he really does give a consistently good performance in everything that he does, and this is no different. As I said, she's probably my favorite character in the movie. Sienna Miller also has, a big part to play in kind of in the same story as Sam. I thought she was very good alongside Georgia McPhail. I think that's how you say her name. She plays Sienna Miller's daughter in the movie. I thought she was pretty good. And then Jamie Campbell Byre, he's kind of like the villain of the movie. I thought he was very menacing, and I thought he did some very interesting part in this movie. He did some very interesting things, I'd say, acting alongside Kevin Costner, so I did like him a lot. I also thought that this was shot very well. The cinematography is really like A plus here, shot in a really relaxing way, not like relaxing way like it's really bad, but relaxing way like I could fall asleep to this because just the shots are so amazing. Like westerns always seem to be shot really well because they're mostly shot on location, because there's not a lot of sound stages that you would make for a western movie. It's basically all location in the desert, and I thought it all looked pretty beautiful. And what's very interesting about this movie is that you're following multiple POVs, and the movie bounces between many different tribes and groups of people in this time period of exploration in the West, like how they're trying to do it. With this comes the biggest issue of the movie for me personally, is I'm not caring about some of the people in this movie, like some of the groups here. Like some scenes I really did love. I thought some scenes were perfect in here, and I wanted to just continue those. But then you cut away to a less interesting group, to a less interesting scene that maybe should have been cut out of the story. That kind of leads us to talking about the runtime, which hits that big 3 hour mark. I don't think we've had a 3 hour movie for a while. I don't think since, Killers of the Flower Moon. I think this is the first 3 hour movie in a long time. People always say, all movies are 3 hours. No, we don't really get that many 3 hour movies. We had like two maybe this year as a whole. And as I said, some of these groups could have been cut out of the movie, because I feel like I still would have got the story. I don't think it would have changed my perspective on the story, but I feel like, out of all the groups in here, I feel like at least one of them, maybe two of them, could be cut, because but I will say, if it all comes together by the end of this, story, by the end of this saga, and all these groups come together at the end of it, maybe it'll be worth it. But in my opinion, it's still just way too long. Like, I feel like there's a perfect Western movie in here if you cut it down to maybe like 2 hours, 30 minutes. But still, as I said, it's Kevin Costner's movie. He can do what he wants. But I feel like there's just too many groups in here, too many perspectives to follow. Like, I was getting a little confused there about where we were time period wise, who we were really talking to in this period. Are these new people? Should I care about these people? Are they bad people? Like, it was a little hard to follow. But overall, Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1 shocked me because of how good it was, how much I enjoyed it. I really want to see it again now, just to, enjoy the beauty of the film and some of the stories I really enjoyed. Some of the groups are less interesting, but I feel like the film still kept my attention throughout that 3 hour runtime, and I'm now very excited for Chapter 2. So Chapter 1 of Horizon, I'm going to give it a strong 8 out of 10. I will say, give this one a chance, at least in theaters or in streaming. I feel like it just looks really beautiful. Some character beats aren't going to hit for you. Just like I said, it's 3 hour runtime. I think is going to be too much for everyone, but I feel like there's still some stuff to enjoy for everyone here. And I feel like if he keeps going with this quality, I feel like the whole saga will really end up being amazing as a whole. And this is coming from someone who doesn't really like westerns that much, but as I said, I really enjoyed it a lot. So that's my review for Horizon and America Saga. Leave your thoughts down below if you did see. If you enjoyed my review, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.